I never knew and understood why there was such a big thing about residential schools and that, and until Garnet started talking, and then you realize these are people that are taken from their homes and that, and more or less forced into learning a culture that they didn't want to learn. It wasn't there for them. They were raised on culture from the family, and you know, and that, and then they're just stripped from it at a young age. And then you see somebody like Garnet who, you know, he talks openly about it, but it's like he doesn't hold a grudge. And that, me, I'd be very pissed off, you know. But when you speak to him, he speaks with still love. I don't know. Me, that'd be very hard. I don't know, I guess in their minds they thought they were doing something good, trying to make Canada as one, but I don't think it never worked. You know, it's sad.
Do you see other people around Sioux Lookout who you know are IRS survivors?
Garnet's the main one, and the only time I really hear about it or see it is when you go to these workshops and stuff like that, and they come out. There are people who won't talk about it because I think they're ashamed or what. But the ones that do speak about it, it opens your eyes. It makes you understand, okay, why is this guy drunk or why is this guy the way he is? You know, we don't know what happened to him. We don't know the abuses he went through. It sure makes you think twice about the next time you see a person down the street and, you know, tell them to get off the road, you know, you crazy drunk or something. You don't know what that guy's gone through. He might be just killing the pain with the alcohol and drugs.
Did you learn about sort of physical and sexual abuse and stuff?
Yes.
What did you learn?
That these people that they were supposed to put trust in, you know, that were supposed to be caregivers for them, just abused them. There was probably the, you know, good ones, but the bad ones just took advantage of these kids, which is sick. This is very sick. No wonder a lot of them try to block it out. The physical effects in that could be enormous, where there could be like they could carry on the abuse to their own through their families and that, and the alcoholism and the other drug abuse and that, and it could be even physical effects where they're being abused to the point where they, you know, they can't walk normal, or their legs are being broken, because there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on back then too, you know, which isn't right. You know, I don't know. It's stuff you don't want to really hear about, but you should hear about, because if you put it in the back of your mind, it'll never get fixed. And Garnet is a great person for having the courage to talk about stuff like this. Like every time I speak to him, I always say, "Hey, Smiley," because the man always has this enormous smile. And to me, it's like, wow. Me, I'd be walking around peed off at everybody. I couldn't look at a white man the way he does. There would be no trust. Just don't judge, the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, because beneath that smiling face, this man's been through hell. And listen to him. Just don't look at him, listen, because he's got a lot to learn from. And I knew Garnet for years before I knew he was a residential school. Like, I still remember that thing and him talking up there, and the tears coming into his eyes, and it hits home when you start thinking, this could have been me. Like, that's what people should think. That could have been you. You know, and that's what really gets you.
Yeah, sort of thinking, imagine your 6-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
Do you think about that?
I think about, because I have my 2 girls, and I would never let anybody do anything like that to them. So think of Garnet's parents, how they must have felt, you know, to have their children stripped away from them. You know, these are people that are proud people who took their kids hunting, fishing, taught them to live off the land, and that, and all of a sudden they're told that isn't the right way. We're taking your kids, putting them in proper school. It's supposed to be proper schools. You know, that's sad.